Into overdrive with their firm belief that non-mother Meg was never pregnant and the childless Sussexes continue to subject the world to an extraordinary hoax. Guided dance film is hard evidence that the manipulative Ms. Markle used prosthetic moon bumps to fabricate both of her phantom pregnancies. Certainly, that improbably huge, low-slung baby belly looked kind of odd, but...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's the fakest woman on the planet. That's why all these rumors come out and all these conspiracy theories start to come to light, and why people are really skeptical of her, because anything that comes out of her mouth, anything she does, doesn't have authenticity and really lacks legitimacy. So yeah, we're really worried.
A royal nurse just dropped the bomb we've all been waiting for. I was there. Meghan was never pregnant. No monitors, no doctors, just silence, scripts, and a silicone bump. After years of rumors, this insider finally confirms the unthinkable. And if this is true, what else have they faked? Stay with us, because once this cracks open, it won't stop.
Video on her social media yesterday, which sent several people into absolute meltdown. It is the cringiest, most uncomfortable piece of tape.
The silence is finally broken, as seasoned royal nurse Anonymous, but Verified has come forward to say what everyone's been whispering for years. Meghan Markle was never pregnant. Not once, according to her. The hospital wasn't even acting like a real maternity ward. No heartbeat monitors, no royal O'Gins, no last-minute prep. Just weird lighting, vague staff, and an air of secrecy thick enough to cut with a knife. The nurse said it felt more like a Netflix set than a delivery room, and honestly, would that really surprise anyone at this point?
Runaway's recently released twerking video, allegedly filmed 4 years ago when Meg was expecting Lilibet, has only served to intensify the fevered speculation that we're told is making the former actress's life a nightmare.
She said Meghan's belly looked off to low, to loose, to Hollywood. Meghan Markle, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, apparently prefers silicone over biology. This nurse claims the so-called baby bump was strapped on like a movie prop, and the way everyone tiptoed around her, it was like they were waiting for her to forget her lines. The world thought it was watching a birth, but it might have been watching a performance. And not even a good one, but wait, it gets even stranger.
Hard evidence that the manipulative Ms. Markle used prosthetic moon bumps to fabricate both of her phantom pregnancies. Certainly, that improbably huge, low-slung baby belly looked kind of odd.
Remember that viral twerking video Meghan posted while supposedly 9 months pregnant? Yeah, the one that looked more like a comedy sketch than a maternity moment. Critics called it the world's wobbliest baby bump. One commenter said, "It looked like a sack of socks shoved under a clearance dress." Another asked, "Was it a moon bump or a beach ball in witness protection?"
She's supposedly 9 months pregnant in the hospital room, dancing with a big belly.
And through it all, there's Harry standing in the background, looking like a lost intern on his first day. Why is he giving speeches like he's still an active royal? It's pathetic. Charles may not be perfect, but at least he didn't marry a yacht girl and start selling jam like it's the cure to royal scandal.
Why the hell would the gruesome twosome pretend to be parents? That is the question. Another question, the one the conspiracy theories ask, is...
Let's be honest, Meghan's version of motherhood feels more like an Instagram campaign than a family milestone. One viewer even said she was celebrating herself, not the baby. And that's the thing, real moms are exhausted, swollen, and emotional. Meghan was perfectly lit and ready for her close-up. And now, the cracks are showing, but if the pregnancies were fake, who carried the kids?
Why are Meghan and Harry quite so obsessive about not revealing their kids' faces? An all-consuming fixation that almost...
Let's talk about the invisible children. For two people who built their brand on authenticity, Meghan and Harry sure do go out of their way to not show their kids. No birth certificates from trusted hospitals, no christening photos, no blurry beach pics, not even a rogue paparazzi shot. We've seen more of Bigfoot than we've seen of Archie and Lilibet. One commenter nailed it. You can't reveal kids you never had.
Number one, here's the problem. We don't like you, Meghan Markle. We don't like you. And no amount of posting videos that you think are going to humanize you will make us like you. You've already shown
privacy and guarantees an ongoing carnival of tongue wagging. Nevertheless, the counterfeit kids talk was on the wane.
In a world where even Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian post glimpses of their children, Meghan gives us a grainy foot here, a shadowy silhouette there, and somehow thinks that's normal. Privacy, please. This isn't privacy, it's PR strategy. Carefully crafted digital breadcrumbs meant to make people think, aw, cute, while never showing anything real. It's like they're hiding a royal NFT collection instead of actual toddlers, and if the kids were really born, why are they? Being treated like state secrets?
completely undermined all the amazing gifts that this family has given you.
Now let's get sticky literally. Meghan claimed her kids were learning about hard work and money by selling jars of overpriced jam at the local farmer's market. Sounds sweet, right? Except not a single person saw it. No videos, no photos. Not one Instagram post at a California market surrounded by influencers and iPhones? That's not just unlikely, it's laughable.
The sycophantic supporter, Christopher Boozy, stuck his oar in, poked the hornet's nest, and set the gossip mill buzzing again. Thanks, Chris.
Critics called it PR fluff on gluten-free toast. One viewer joked, Meghan's kids selling jam. That's like Harry selling dignity. Doesn't exist. And another, what empire? Meghan has no empire. People aren't buying the jam or the story.
Reportedly bullied virtually everybody who's ever worked for her. She can't keep a staff in London. She can't keep a staff in Montecito. She's a bully. She's obsessed with her own ego, face on television, etc. And playing the
tech entrepreneur Boozy wrote, when Meghan Markle...
If this fairy tale really happened, wouldn't someone have snapped a pic? Or at least mentioned it on Yelp? The silence speaks louder than any headline. And just like her dancing baby bump, this wholesome jam tale feels like another performance. Crafted for headlines, not reality. And now the biggest twist. Meghan's top defender just made things worse.
Video of herself dancing in a hospital room while 9 months pregnant. She probably thought she was sharing a relatable moment.
Enter Christopher Boozy, Meghan's digital guard dog, self-proclaimed misinformation warrior, and part-time chaos magnet. In a stunning twist, Boozy wrote an article trying to defend Meghan against hate, but instead of helping, he poured gasoline on the scandal. He referenced that infamous dancing video, yes, the one with the runaway moon bump, and it exploded all over again. Classic Boozy move.
Appreciate. Instead, within hours, online trolls and conspiracy theorists weaponized it.
Instead of silencing critics, he reminded everyone about the one video Meghan probably wishes never existed. Comment sections lit up, frame by frame TikToks resurfaced. People zoomed in, analyzed every awkward wobble, every off-center bounce. And the verdict, that bump had a mind of its own.
She was never pregnant at all. This nightmare is what Meghan's life has become. Every joyful moment gets twisted into ammunition by people who have made destroying her their full time.
One viewer said, "Come on, Tyler, wake up. She's not your friend." Boozy may have meant well, but in the process, he accidentally became the unintentional whistleblower. Or maybe just the world's worst PR guy. Either way, the scandal didn't die, it mutated. And the damage, oh, it was just getting started.
We need to talk about what this sustained cruelty has done to a woman whose only crime was falling in love with a...
Let's get real, Meghan doesn't mother, she markets motherhood. Everything she shares feels filtered, staged, calculated. From bump cradling in 4K to choreographed jam stories, she's playing the role of mom like it's an Oscar contender. Except the audience isn't clapping anymore.
Well, we might need to talk about it if the woman in question wasn't such a dedicated self-publicist. A fame addict who has clearly adopted the principle that no publicity is bad publicity.
That twerking video, it wasn't empowering, it was insulting. Real moms were outraged. One said, "That wasn't a mother. That was a brand mascot in maternity wear." Another, "She turned one of life's most sacred moments into a TikTok. Audition, harsh, maybe, but when you treat pregnancy like a photo shoot, don't be surprised when people start asking if it was ever real."
People are saying about you as long as you're making headlines and they spell your name right. After all, she's got scam jam to sell, and now an exciting new range of apricot spread, not forgetting her.
And poor Harry standing in the wings like a sad prop in a Meghan Markle rebrand. Charles may have had scandals, but he never looked this lost. At least he didn't build a business out of blurry baby feet and overpriced apricot spread. And now, the cracks in Meghan's carefully built fantasy, they're starting to split wide open.
Thrillingly expensive Chateau Meg rosé wine. Meanwhile, here she is again, zealously guarding her daughter's privacy in yet another mini.
Royal tradition has its rituals. Diana did it. Kate did it. Heck, even Fergie did it, stepping outside the hospital after giving birth, smiling, holding the newborn, facing the press. Meghan, nothing, no hospital steps, no doctors, no godparents, no royal family members holding the baby, just Netflix footage with weird angles and digitally blurred faces.
Posted on Instagram to plug her ludicrous online tat shop. Why her ladyship thinks that people are going to pay.
You know it's bad when people start comparing her parenting proof to Bigfoot sightings. We've seen more of Loch Ness than Archie. One commenter joked, and they're not wrong, every photo is either zoomed out, filtered, or cropped so aggressively it could pass as AI generated. In an era where celebs casually post their kids blowing out candles, Meghan serves up mystery, shadows, and silence.
Over the odds and wait for weeks for run-of-the-mill produce they can buy instantly for a fraction of the price at their local grocery store.
Is it privacy or protection? Protection from what, though? From the truth. Because when you hide everything, faces, facts, timelines, eventually people stop believing anything at all.
This entire strange enterprise is baffling and surely doomed to fail. In other news, a wall of deafening silence from Harry and Meghan as their great friend.
So what is Meghan building, a family or a fantasy? From the fake bump rumors to the jam stall that no one saw, from the faceless baby clips to the sold-out jars of overpriced spread, everything screams brand, not life. It's not real, it's curated content with a royal filter.
Who is suing him for $260 million. Charges Perry vehemently denies. The Sussexes.
One viewer summed it up. She's not running a household. She's running a PR department. Another said, even the Jan looks confused. And that $80 price tag for a jar of glorified fruit mush? It's parody level ridiculous. No wonder people are calling it cosplay capitalism.
Home with friends like the dismal duo. Who needs enemies? But in sunny Montecito, the devious Duchess's distant relationship with the truth is.
And now she's pitching rose, apricot spreads, and maybe even cookware like a royal Martha Stewart with an NDA, except there's no warmth, no realness, just marketing fluff, sold with a smile and a blurry Instagram story.
Once more. Looks like another of her charming anecdotes can be filed in her packed porky pie cabinet. This one's about Archie and Lilibet, who, on the basis
Meghan's life isn't lived, it's launched. One product drop at a time, and the more polished it looks, the more people wonder what she's really hiding.
Meghan says are learning about the value of work and money by selling stuff from their own stall at the local farmers market. Except there appears to be absolutely no record of them ever doing so.
You know something's wrong when even Meghan's loudest supporters start going quiet. The media outlets that used to defend her every move are now backing off. The headlines have shifted from brave Duchess to optics disaster. Even Oprah's couch is starting to look like a trapdoor. And why? Because the story no longer adds up. The timelines are shaky, the visuals are suspicious, and the silence from the palace deafening.
But as for the value of money and work, maybe Meg should look into it. stop acting like the tin pot tycoon and get a damn job. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, Samara? You know, she's like so many...
Let's face it, this isn't just about privacy, it's about control. Meghan doesn't want to protect her kids from the public. She wants to protect her image from being questioned. You can't fact-check a face you've never seen, and that's the trick. No one can prove or disprove anything because nothing is shown.
She does need to get a job, but she needs to get a job very fast because the finances will be running out. I actually did a couple of quick calculations and found that to fund her lifestyle, she'll need to be selling 2.5 million pots of jam.
And Harry still standing by her like a sidekick with no lines. One commenter said, "He's like a royal cardboard cutout blinking occasionally, but never speaking." Another nailed it. If a person's not useful to her anymore, she ghosts. Then watch Harry vanish next. It's getting hard to tell where the real Meghan ends and the brand begins. And maybe that's the whole point.
7,000 a day. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work, Meghan. Give up now. I'm not joking.
Flash Ash, welcome back to the show. Good to have you back. Now,
This is what happens when motherhood becomes a marketing strategy. When babies are blurred, bumps are questionable, and jam jars are sold like luxury handbags. Meghan didn't just tell her truth, she might have sold it in neatly curated product drops in branded baskets sent to influencers, in ghostwritten blog posts about her homemade lifestyle.
my thoughts on this business are, you ever seen The Apprentice? Yeah. Right. So,
but here's what no one is saying out loud. If the pregnancies were staged, then the children become part of the illusion. That's not just controversial, it's chilling. Because motherhood is sacred. It's not a prop. It's not a soft focus. Camera moment, it's messy, it's raw, it's real. And Meghan's version, it's anything but.
In America, or in the old days, of course, when he was hosting that show, and you get Alan Sugar here, and they give the teams like these business tasks, and they say, you got to sell these colored shoelaces or something, you know.
One viewer said it best. She doesn't reveal she rehearses. Another, she markets motherhood the same way she markets jam. Glossy, expensive, and suspiciously artificial. So what happens when the brand can't hold the weight of the lie anymore? When the fantasy starts cracking under the pressure of real questions, real people, and real evidence.
Rubbish. Yeah. And they have to work out a way to sell them and a marketing strategy and all that. And you look at it and go, well,
because if it all was fake, then the biggest royal scam of our time didn't happen behind palace walls. It happened on Instagram.
Stand a chance. That's what her business reminds me of. You know, it's just selling stupid little products that there'll be no demand.
Let's talk numbers. According to Business Insiders, for Meghan's American Riviera Orchard brand to support her lifestyle in Montecito, she'd need to sell 2.5 million jars of jam per year. That's over 7,000 jars a day for jam, not royal caviar, not aged Castle wine. Just sticky, overpriced fruit spread with a fancy label and an even fancier backstory.
Absurd, isn't it?
Well, they should link the stuff to her. I mean, in Britain, porky pies is rhyming slang for life.
The kicker, early buyers are already complaining. Delayed shipments, wrong orders, and jam that allegedly tastes suspiciously like Trader Joe's. But hey, at least Trader Joe's doesn't pretend their jam is infused with royal fairy tales. One reviewer said, "It's like she bottled a PR campaign and slapped $80 on it." Another, "This isn't entrepreneurship. This is cosplay capitalism." And honestly, they're not wrong.
People would relate to it, do you know what I mean?
That's not a bad idea.
Like I said last week.
That's not a bad idea.
She's just acting at it, isn't she? But I mean, at least Donald Trump was a businessman first, and he's sort of got an act on top. She was just an actor, so she sort of pretended.
Because when your entire empire is built on aesthetic over authenticity, it only takes one cracked jar to leak the truth. And now, even fans are starting to ask what's real, and what's just Meghan Markle's idea of relatable.
It is like she's playing at it, Samara, you know, like, oh, what can I sell?
Strip away the filters, forget the gold-lettered branding and soft-lit interviews. At the core of all this is a woman who turned motherhood, royalty, and womanhood into a monetized fantasy. No kids shown, no births confirmed, no public moments. That weren't perfectly staged. Meghan's not living life, she's producing it.
And said, oh, you gotta sell that jam. You can't sell things like that, jam, apricot spread, even rosé wine in the kind of quantities that you're talking.
And in doing so, she may have crossed a line no royal or celebrity has dared before, turning something as sacred as childbirth into a product launch. The bump became a costume, the birth became a mystery, and the babies? Characters in a story that no one can verify.
Dave, was it how many?
2.5 million jars a year.
2.5 million jars a year. I told you, didn't I? So last Friday, after
One insider called it the most expensive role she's ever played. But here's the twist this time. The audience is starting to walk out. And for someone who once captivated the world with a wedding watched by millions, that might be the biggest plot twist of all.
What just happened? What just happened was about to go out on air. I was going home from work. Now listen to this, folks. I'm keeping it real. You probably think I sort of go around in a chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce or something. Well, I don't.
He does.
So I got the subway home, the tube. That's what I do. So I'm standing at the bus stop, thinking for some reason about Meghan's produce.
Because when the smoke clears and the mirrors crack, we're not left with a mother, a duchess, or a CEO. We're left with nothing.
You're really living up to all the haters.
I've got to get out more. So there's one of those neon advertising signs, is it flicking around different produce. Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah, I saw
with a
that
big
one,
bottle
right.
of rosé. Buy Chateau Dolly.
Yeah.
It's £7, £7. In other words,
So here we are, after all the whispers, headlines, and carefully cropped Instagram stories. One royal nurse steps forward and says, I was there. Meghan was never pregnant, and suddenly, everything starts to make sense. The bouncy bump, the missing birth photos, the jam kids no one ever saw, it all clicks.